Okay, good. Alright, so I'll continue. Okay, good. So, you see... Okay, thanks. Thanks for the feedback. So, another thing, of course, you are noticing, if you like the rats, and if you know about the rats, is that Mad Andy is finishing every single enemy. Because that was the way, back in the day, you have to finish every enemy to get to the next wave. And here, Zelda zombies are very annoying, because it's very hard to get an overhead attack that actually cuts the head and the body. You have to do a very weird setup with an on-target target attack. Otherwise, it's only gonna cut the head. Oh, that's an interesting... That wasn't me, by the way. That was kind of a cut there. Is this spice? I wonder. Probably just an artifact of the recording. So yeah, again, finishing that zombie to get the rune. Getting a lot of damage from enemies. A quick setup for the kill there. And you see the health is really, really low. So they're getting some amulets. So even with all the, you know, killing enemies, when you kill enemies you gain extra sanity. But even with that, they run into low health, which is something that can happen if you are not very wary of that fight. So here you need to do the new main rune enchantment for this door. Also, so the only glitch that was on SDA back in the day was merging the cutscene of the enchantment with the end of Ramdao fight. That is not present here, but it was present on the last rune by Onscope. So you had to be kind of close. Manandi probably thought that was a sanity effect, and that's why it went back. But you actually had to be relatively close to the thing to use it. That's my guess. And there is another spot where you can turn around faster with using sneak instead of running. Or even walking, it's like better. So, barrier fight. Barrier fight is rough on Zelda. You can kill all these zombies on one hit, by the way, if you do a neutral on-target attack. Neutral on-target attacks from the Ramdao do damage to all enemies, and it deals enough damage to kill all of them when it's enchanted. So all of them will die on just one hit. Just for you to know. And then finishing, another important thing, finishing enemies with the Ramdao is extremely, extremely slow. Okay? Like, really slow. Finishing with the Turwar is faster. And then finishing with Chakrams is even faster. Like, way faster. They're also getting caught by zombies because they are finishing the zombies from an awkward angle. And yeah, since overhead attack don't get rid of the body of Zelda zombies, they can wake up again because they're actually not killed. They're on finishing state, but they're not on dead state. So for example, if you watch a cutscene here, the Zelda zombie that is on the floor won't disappear because it's not actually killed yet, even while you can finish it up. That's just something kind of weird about Zelda zombies. Here, they're probably gonna need another recovery, maybe? At least for the horror. Yeah, there you go. That's like very low health. And here, the only thing that matters for this barrier to go away is killing the horror. So today we have specific strats to... we leave some of the zombies alive. We only care about the horror appearing. If you go too far away here, the zombie's gonna do that kind of attack. Yeah, so it's trying to one-shot the horror. You can one-shot the horror with Ramdao overhead attack. Like that. Very scary fight. Especially right there on the end. And of course you have to finish it. You have to finish the horror in order to advance. That's actually the only thing that matters. Just finishing the horror. And then we'll get Uyauth here. Instead of Chaturga. Because remember, this is on Zelda Road. All the old runs are on Zelda, up to Suiken. I guess the two people that pioneered Uyauth Road were Sir and Wirtalon. Sir with the all TISs of the first chapters. So Mada Andy's getting the Gladius here. You see you have to run a little bit extra. And it's enchanting it immediately. And then Wirtalon was the first one actually running on Uyauth, as far as I know. So Alex segment number 5, normally we would get the dresser key here. So right there, so you see the clock is very close. So it's better to get it there. Instead of on the beginning. Not that big of a difference, but it's something.
I will not argue that I was shocked by the sudden mention.
There was someone else who ran on Uyauth. I can't remember his name right now. Oh, okay, nice. Good to know. So, Marandi didn't grab the bullets. Today we grabbed the bullets because we use the flintlock pistols a lot. So I'm assuming they're probably gonna be using the saber. Also getting this thing beforehand. You have to run a little bit extra if you do that. At least with the current strat. With the strats here, it probably doesn't matter too much. Also, the raving puzzle is faster on this road. Because you don't have to go all the way to Salta. And yeah, no flintlocks. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, to be fair, is there Uyauth horror here? Or just Zelda and Chatoria? Was it Lino? Maybe it was Lino. I thought Lino ran on like Chatoria. I don't know, you can see it on the leaderboard. On Speedrun.com. Look at that, even like fighting from the front. So if you fight from the back, I think you can cut heads a one shot. Almost sure. With the saber. So that will be faster. That's alright. Max actually has a lot of HP. Yeah. Yeah, that was discovered by Sir. And it makes a whole difference. Like, it's so counterintuitive. You will never think that arms would have different HP. It just doesn't make sense. You see another turnaround there that can be a little bit faster with sneaking. Yeah. And then here we get to the Sepia effect. They're going this way. This is just preference, which way you want to go. Because the horror is always gonna be on the opposite way, on the opposite part of the room. So really it's up to you. And here, also from the front. Kinda weird, because on Kareem, they actually went for attacks from the back, but maybe they didn't know about the double damage, and they just did it on Kareem because it looked faster, you know, as a setup to don't get hit. That's my guess. So reveal invisible. It's already done. They're gonna cast it there. But Andy replaced the assignment for enchant, so we probably won't see it very much in the next part. I'm gonna assume that enchant, like assignment optimization, wasn't really a thing on these days. Here we're gonna see a sanity effect when Mad Andy enters this. This is the jail effect. We skip this today. You have to get your sanity over 80% or 80, I don't remember. But it's a certain threshold, and that's why on this chapter I do an extra sanity recovery, because it takes less time than yeah, but Andy hasn't done recovery yet too. So he's enchanting, so yeah, there's no optimization on assignments, which is fine. I mean, I didn't even have that on my first runs. Yep, it seems, because no flintlock. So I think that's also kind of, thank you for the follow, Johan. Not maybe counterintuitive, but I would say most of the people don't like flintlock pistols just because they don't have many bullets, so it looks like you're not doing a lot of damage because it takes too much to, you know, reload them and all that. But flintlocks do a whole lot of damage. That's the thing. It's just that unless you test it out, you don't have any way to know. So they're just going for saber. So 2 hits so far. I mean 4. Let's see how many. 5. So it's either 6 or 5 hits. So it's either the same or one more with flintlocks. Although with flintlocks with the current enchantment it's just only 4, and you have the distance, and also you have to wait for the teleport anyway, so you can reload there. So that's the max segment. Now we're going for Lindsay. So no Edward skip, of course. What are we having here? So that was shield and recovery. So doing some assignments. Okay, so there is definitely some work on the assignments. Getting a recovery and a shield for Peter. Now a reveal for the puzzle. So we're gonna see a lot of shields on Lindsay. That was something very particular of Lindsay, of the old Lindsay days. Using a lot of shields for traps, and also prevents damage from enemies when you go low sanity. That attack is actually not completely, like, it doesn't matter if you do that attack, because you can pause immediately. You have a couple frames to do it, I guess. Okay, killing the Reaper with the sword. Very interesting. So, Kukri, how much damage does Kukri do? It's like 8th, I think. Yeah, I think it's like 8th damage, which is very low. Shotgun point blank does 40. So it's like a whole difference. A whole different beast. Yeah, so it's 8. 8 against 40 that you can do from the back. At least they knew that they could attack from the back. You do double damage. I mean, not double damage. You do normal damage to Reapers from the back. And from the front, you do half damage. When they open the wings. And of course, from the back, you can always damage them. Even if they have the wings close. So, killing the Trapper. Getting the metal bracelet. So far, looks very similar. Let's see how the traps look here. Yeah, that's pretty alright. So Lindsay gets almost tired on this part. Then you recover a little bit of sanity there because this cutscene is on real time. Or let's say Lindsay is not frozen during the cutscene, so he recovers a little bit of sanity here. I mean, stamina, not sanity. Then bronze. I mean silver bracelet. This animation is actually slower. That's very funny. That animation depends on what weapon you have. Everything has the same animation except the handgun, if I remember correctly. And the animation of the handgun is actually slower. All the others take about the same time. And I think, not just the animation, but the actual cutscene, I think it's slower with the handgun. Okay, Matt Andy didn't know that you can burn these zombies for an insta kill. You can burn Man-Turk zombies and Celta zombies. And you can already see the usage of the shields to help on fights. And of course, they're gonna help a lot on the traps as well. So this spell here is gonna be a Chaturga dispel. Something very cool about Zelda Road is that most of your spells will be Chaturga. It's not mandatory to kill this horror, but maybe they're gonna get sanity out of it. No, I guess not. And so most of the spells you gotta cast are on Chaturga, which means you can pretty much just match on a lot of spells. It makes menu slightly faster. Yo, Jelly, how are you doing? Yeah, glasses give you intelligence. An accessory, exactly. That's true. So this is another instance. Another zombie you can insta-kill. Also, every time you get an item, you should be matching B. That will make the item go away faster. I mean, sometimes you just don't know. There's a lot of things we don't know. Wait, cutscene merge? Really? Holy shit! Yo, thanks for that, Giver. You nailed it. That is I need to write that down. That's it's spelling cutscene actually. Okay, this is not glitchless. R attack barrier. So Mad Andy was just a couple steps. So spelling cutscene is how this is called. When you do a spell right before getting into a cutscene. And some cutscenes allow you to do spells, other cutscenes cancel them. Sanity effect right here. I discovered that thing actually independently of Mad Andy when I discovered spelling the button, which I think was my first discovery on this game. They're taking this way, by the way. We never see this passage on a speedrun. And you see they're doing the setup for stamina, running a little bit and then walking to never run out of stamina. You also knew about it? Nice. I guess we all get it independently. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Like, it's really cool that this is not actually glitchless. And yeah, from there you're just a couple, like a couple steps away from other spelling cutscenes, like the button and those. So yeah, going this way, this circle around, it's slower. Because you have to go all the way back here to get the other thing. I also noticed that Mad Andy got explosion because of, you know, the low sanity. And I actually no, okay, so hang on. I know why Mad Andy did this. So with Mad Andy knowledge, this is faster. Because if you go this way, you will skip walking in ceiling sanity effect. Which by the time, I bet they didn't know how to skip. Or maybe they knew, like, getting more sanity will help you, but they feel like that would be too slow. And so, taking that on account, a walking in ceiling is 30 seconds, okay? So, with that in mind, I guess this will be a faster road. More shields. So Mad Andy is using some shields to recover stamina, it seems. It seems that they're reacting to just the sound of Lindsay to start doing the setup for stamina. Now this cutscene right here counts as a sanity effect, so
Remember me, Alex.
it allows you to don't have another sanity effect for about a minute. And yeah, they're keeping everything high, you know, like health, sanity, and shields. Just being very safe on Lindsay. This is how Lindsay used to be. On the Swiken days, I think they only use shields. Zelda shields, which are actually worse than Chatterer shields, but whatever. I even did that. You can barely see the room here. Not even Mad Andy could see the room. Look at that. Maybe they have like a very dark setup on the CRT or something. I understand being safe on Lindsay. Yeah, absolutely. It's Lindsay, I think it's kind of the hardest chapter. On pretty much every level. Sanity effect here. There you go. Yeah, Lindsay is one of the chapters that needs a lot of practice. Especially on early, like when you're getting to speedrun. because of the traps and all that, those things. Once you figure out the traps, it gets easier. Much easier. Okay, Mad Andy forgot tier. Either that or they want to recover. Yeah, okay. So I guess they want to recover. Yeah, they were so close to use the torch there. Let's see if they try to go for a spell here. Yeah, I guess not. Let's look at the magic. No, they didn't even try it. So again, kind of odd that they got it just only on the other one. Like again, just a couple steps away from knowing more. That was some good blades. And I believe we have double steps. Sanity effect. Yeah. Sounds like it. And yeah, so far this is fine. Only one sanity effect. Ammo on the floor. I think it's like 12 seconds lost. And then going this way. I don't really know if one of the sides is faster than Lindsay. I think it doesn't matter. I'm more comfortable with the other side, but not really sure if it matters. And that's Lindsay's segment. That's 51 minutes so far. 51 minutes 16 on the quote-unquote in-game time. Doing attack and assign it somewhere. Yeah. It's gonna be for Paul. Probably for the trappers, I'm assuming. And then going up for this spell here. Which it's gonna be right after this cutscene. The safest bet is to do it after this cutscene. With all strat. Like right there actually. If you want to save time, you should do it right there. But maybe they didn't know that you can do it anywhere. That's my guess. I like to do it back in the day, like right after the max cutscene, just in case if you're too fast or you mess something up before the max cutscene, and you get to the cutscene and the spell is not finished yet
during the time of the Inquisition,
because there's no free cast back in the day, the cutscene will cancel the spell and it won't finish. So it has to be finished before, if I remember correctly. Okay, so getting straight into this cutscene to get trapped here. Just standard. This is gonna be just a standard beginning. Sadly, I have some spoilers. You're gonna figure them out. So I guess it's not spoilers, but I can tell you already because we're just like a couple seconds from it. There were no Chaturga spells for stamina in this time, which means Paul and Edward are going to be a little bit slow. So you see already Mad Andy is going for walking setups for stamina. That was implemented on the next segmented run after this, on Spiral Out run, and of course then on Old Scope. But Spiral Out run is like 2010, by the way, 5 years after this, and as far as I know, or at least I haven't found any documentation of other runs between 2005 and 2010. And then 2011 is the last SDA run. Okay, going this way, that's good. That's slightly faster than turning around later. And yeah, we're gonna see a lot of these running into walking to maintain relatively constant stamina. No crossbow, yeah, makes sense. That means we'll see magical attacks for trappers. Because yeah, the crossbow is very slow. We didn't grab it back in the day. We just started grabbing it for the Anthony and horror setups. It doesn't really matter in which order you grab this thing. There is a fast pickup there if you go very close to the maze. Slightly faster. Today we get the maze before, just because that saves some stamina. But both, like, the order shouldn't matter in terms of time. It's just about the stamina, because you run into more doors once your pull is finished. And running into doors is always saving some stamina. Rip Monk. Okay. We're going up first. For a piece of evidence and for the music sheet. And of course you can see the shields being extremely safe. Probably to get a fast Anthony fight. And my guess here is because Mad Andy didn't know about attack cancels. Yeah, if you don't do attack cancels in this fight, I guess it can get pretty annoying. Okay, this is very funny because Mad Andy is actually doing attack cancels here. Look at that. He's kind of doing attack cancels, very close to. You can do them faster than that, but he's kind of doing attack cancels. And with attack cancels, you should never get a hit from Anthony. But yeah, after that, no attack cancels. It was kind of an accidental attack cancel because they wanted to evade the attacks. Going that way. Oh, okay, I was about to say going that way slightly slower, but it's because they're doing this puzzle immediately, which is also slightly slower. Just walk a little bit extra. This is routed better if you're doing the organ puzzle later. getting almost tired there, probably because of the spell here. So they're using the spell to gain some stamina, which is a small optimization, very useful for back in the day. And we'll probably see equipping the sword any moment. Please. No sword. I'm assuming they forgot it. There's no way they prefer the mace. Yeah, no enchant is fine. Especially since it's a horror. On Zelda you get a Uyal horror, which is fine. I guess they save a pause by doing that. And yeah, but that's just suboptimal. Oh, look at that, an attack here. That's interesting. So I guess an attack plus something in... Okay, so that's probably just to get all the zombies in the floor. I believe it was more than one attack per head on the mace. I think they have more than 8 HP. The Uyad horrors, I think it must be like 10 at least. And that's why it's suboptimal. Because with the sword you should get the heads on one shot, I think. So these zombies, if you're fast enough, there won't be up when you go back here. But if you take too much time, they're gonna be up. Okay, but that's fine. Even with all that time. The Anthony horror is super weird. The Anthony horror is different from the other ones. Most horrors are medium size. So that's what you wanna look if you are looking at the document. The useful data. You wanna look for the medium size. The Anthony is a special horror. Special kind of horror. Which is like... it's weaker than all the other horrors. And has a unique property of... It depends... You deal more damage to it depending on which part you defeat first. And I think it's the only enemy in the game that has that. It's super weird. Oh, it has 15. Okay, so it's the same for both. Okay. Unless you attack from behind. And then it's the same also for both. But attacking from behind with the mace is super awkward. So you only really need... If you're attacking from behind, you might need enchant for Chadora horror. Because they have 20, I think. I don't remember. No, wait, they don't. Or they do. I guess enchant on the maze. Yeah, I'm thinking on individual levels. I'm getting confused between all the things. Getting stuck in the pillar there. Oh, it must have been so awkward to run like this. You know, without a pool. It's crazy. Like, I'm so grateful that developers decide to implement the pool with the stamina. Whether it was intentional or not. Maybe it wasn't. Like, it probably was intentional for the recovery. But I don't know if it was intentional for the pool. Because the pool gives you all your stamina every second. So, you know, every 60 frames, you get full stamina. It's crazy. So they got ceiling blood pool drip. It's a exceptionally good sanity effect. It's kind of like bleeding walls. Lasts forever, and it prevents other sanity effects. That kind of tells me they went for probably several tries on this one to get a good sanity effect. Does this defeat? Yeah, it defeats the zombies immediately. So in these 2 rooms, you can run straight and just ignore the enemies. Getting caught by some zombies there. So maybe they should try the same thing here. Oh, that was a fake zombie. Okay, I see. That's a sanity effect. I could barely see it with this quality. So there was a fake green zombie blocking the path. Now here we'll see using the dagger. These shields actually help a lot here, because you won't get damage from the horror. Although, you're not supposed to get damage, but you know, if you get it. Here also that you definitely want to cast this thing as soon as you enter the room, because it takes a lot to trigger. Yeah, a lot of sanity for the bone thieves. And then here, let's see if they... Okay, they read the thing. It's not necessary to read the thing. You can press B and then just move your control stick very fast. And getting rid of that camera is enough to trigger this cutscene. Okay, so they're moving the bone thieves to just ignore them. A fight with shields is way faster. Just you'll kill these bone thieves 2 attacks on the body, and you only need to kill 1 technically to go past them. Although if they're annoying, maybe you need to kill both, but still faster to just kill them. And that's Paul. We're gonna see at the end of Paul how much Paul took. Kitty says attention? Really? I don't see any kitties. I think you're getting a sanity effect, Gibger. No, it wasn't. No, my cat is not here. Not now. I saw you move your hand after I heard a sound. That you were petting your cat. No. I wasn't paying attention at the time, but it's fine. And it's not your cat? Sanity effect. Okay, making 5 spells here. So that's shield, make it all together. That's always good. You always want to do all of them together, because you're gonna save a little bit of time on menu. Just RTA, really. So that was reveal, shield, and I guess dispel, probably. Oh yeah, no, actually dispel was done for before. I think they missed zombie. Maybe a kid outside. Yeah, it could have been that. There's actually kids outside. But it should be filtered by my mic, but maybe one just yelled really, really loud. Let me all workout over a false alert. Yeah, my
Much has been
my
written
door is
about the
open,
exploits
so
of
she can
conquerors.
actually show up, but she hasn't. I'm surprised that she hasn't show up. Okay, torch. Interesting. I really have the feeling that Matt Andy's setup on their CRT is very dark, because I've been seeing them using the torch on some places, like Lindsay, for instance, to watch the trappers. The traps, I'm sorry. You need a regard to show if you're kidding. Yeah, if you sub, I'll show the kitty. No, I don't even know where she is. Any of them. Because it's kind of still day, let's see. It's not dark. No, it got dark. But they're gonna enter the house at any moment. I remember my Sony CRT Trinitron was dark with this game, especially with composite cables. I see. Yeah, I have this TV, this CRT. Is that the same one? It's a Sony. And that one, it's amazing. I can see very well in general on this game. Like, the only part that could give me a little bit of problem is like Peter. Like Peter boiler room for the trapper. Michael attack for the trappers. Very good. But I'm assuming developers did that particular room extremely dark, so you wouldn't notice the trapper hole immediately, and you have to, you know, like work around with torch and all that. So if you go towards the downward path, there is faster. I actually didn't know that until like a couple months, because Sermi told me. Sor told me. Mine was for 97. S video and component, yeah. 32-inch, not widescreen. Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, this one is widescreen. Or rather, no. No, it's not widescreen. It's flat screen, rather. You have really good speakers, I see. Okay, so here's the zombie. You summon a zombie, you walk it into the smasher. There's a faster setup for that. You can actually release the zombie early, and the zombie will keep walking towards it. So what you can do is you can make the zombie walk towards it, release it, and then cast another spell, which could be the reveal that you need later. Okay, what are we having here? An attack, okay, interesting. So Marandi didn't have enough magic for the attack. You can decoy that trapper, but I guess it's safe here to just go for an attack. Also, since there is not really any kind of road for stamina and magic, they just went here first. But yeah, there was a lot of, like, when I started, I also remember having a lot of discussions about which path would be faster on Roberto, and it kept changing a lot for magic, like magic management, so we never have to do stuff like what Marandi did there. Yeah, it's normal. Michael attack. And now the reveal. Because there's an invisible floor there. If Roberto was brave enough, you could just step into it. Like, it's invisible, but it's still there, right? But no, you have to know it is there. It's actually an invisible wall. Okay, so those two attacks are very bad. Electricity um, from red horrors. That kind of electricity, not the one that they do with their feet, just the one that is around the horror, deals you, I think, 3,000 stamina damage, apart from the health damage. 3,000 is about a third of your full stamina. You have 10,000, and then if you go to... if your stamina is low as a third of your stamina, you start going very slow. Getting wombo combo there a little bit. So getting sanity damage, especially with Roberto, is really bad. Especially if you don't use recoveries. And then if you get the full attack, you know, the electricity from when the horror does a magical attack, that drains your full stamina to 0. That is really bad. You never want that. Five shields for the electricity, very common. I actually use that a lot. And then look at this. Is this gonna be a magic refiller? I think that's a magic refiller. Let me just be sure. I don't know if they knew, but let me see the magic. Yeah, that's a magic refiller. Interesting. It could be an accident. I guess there's no way to know. Because it's easy to get into those on accident. I actually, sir, discovered why that happened, but I got it on run several times before. And I remember we were having this discussion, like, sometimes I recover magic randomly on the worms, and I don't know why. And then he eventually figured it out. What are you drinking? I'm drinking just water. Yeah, I kind of have it in a... This is more of a coffee bottle, but it's just water. Alright, so all the surveys are done. It looked like a weird can to me. It's because it's very weird actually, because this used to be fully blue, but it's so old that the blue painting, it's like barely there. You can see there's just some spots of it, so we just see the actual metal of the thing. Oh my god, it must be so painful to do this setup, this walking setup. Can't wait for Edward. That's gonna be interesting. So yeah, we see Matt Andy getting caught by several zombies. That's something that can happen if you don't completely know all the positions of the zombies, and especially with this movement, you can run into a lot of zombies, I guess. Oh my god, I have... Okay, so now there is neighbors yelling outside. Hopefully they are filter. I'm gonna up my filter a little bit. You can see my mouse. I'm sorry for that, but Yeah. So, Peter, what are we doing here? Summon Trapper, I see.
The war to end all wars redefined how mankind...
Okay, how does Peter look like? Peter is a rough chapter if you don't know about sanity pools. So we might see a bunch of recoveries here. Like a bunch of sanity recoveries. I'm assuming. We need a name for this stamina setup. Something like Mad Andy Walk, Mad Walk, Mad Run. I don't know, Mad Running. Okay, equipping the revolver, interesting. I guess I gotta do this. Okay, what is that? That is a shield? Yeah. Okay, so 5 shields. Alright, so they're gonna prevent a lot of damage from that, at least. And then, as I told, recoveries. So most of the sanity... They are avoiding most of the sanity effects with recoveries. Although it doesn't work that well with that. Because on a speedrun you just lose a lot of sanity. And just below 50% you're already seeing effects. And especially for Peter, that has very low sanity, a pull is much better than a recovery. Because recovery recovers you a percent. So it's less. Like a 3 recovery is always 25%, no matter how much you have, so it's less if you have lower sanity in general. Whereas a pool is always exactly 60. A 3 pool at least. The others are 120 and 180. Just 1 stat per second. And they last 1 minute, 2 minutes, and 3 minutes. Okay, so attack and reveal. The rest will be done later, it seems. That means we're gonna see 7 attacks on the Black Guardian, most likely. We have a fake horror. Pretty good. They probably grind it a little bit to get a good sanity effect on this part. Here's the reveal. You can do this reveal on this cutscene right here. If you run into it. Not this one. The window one. Here. You can do it right there. Which is what I used to do back in the day. And again, I really feel like Mandy was just one step of discovering that. You know, I'm starting to think that maybe the recovery, the spelling cutscene on the air attack barrier was a mistake or an accident, but I don't know. Because I really feel like they would look into more, at least more barriers, you know? Maybe not this one because the window is kind of different, but into more barriers. I don't know. So here's my cat. Here she is, finally. How are you doing, girl? More recoveries. more recoveries. So yeah, without sanity recoveries and without knowing about the pools, you will get a lot of damage. And of course, this will happen too. So that's the thing. No matter how many recoveries you do on Peter, you're gonna get sanity effects. Interesting cut on the audio. Attack for those, yeah, that's fine. That might take about the same time of shooting. It's probably a tiny bit slower, but it's definitely slower in general because you don't have it assigned at this point. With optimal assignments, you shouldn't have attack here, I think. Yeah, we're seeing a ton of recovery. It's crazy. What I used to do here, and I borrowed this from Swiken. So here, after this room, I think it was, that I did a recovery. Either 5 recovery or 7 recovery, I don't remember. And that was for the Black Guardian fight, so you don't get your magical attack cancelled. Yeah. Fishy audio cute. Alright. So, you start the 7 attack right after that. If you... Yeah, you have to evade the attack. And then... Okay, so you can do a 7 attack there. But I guess they're going for 3 attack. So with 3 attack you need to hit it 3 times. And yeah, they're getting hit on purpose because I don't think if you're going for multiple attacks, I think it goes like after 1 attack it doesn't do anything, and then on the other one it does something. Yeah, but still kind of, you're not supposed to splice in the middle of a segment. Okay, so now 7 attack. So that's at least cool. This is the old setup to get a 7 attack right here on zombies. And what allows this is you can only do it if you don't get sanity damage. And here, I mean health damage with vision. And here they have shields, and that's why it's allowed. I really doubt someone would splice a cement around in a game with no competition. Yeah, me too. I really think it's probably just bad recording. Like, this was probably recorded on like a VHS, maybe. And then digitalize. So here too, you can also do a 7 attack, but they don't have enough magic. And that's probably what they want. They work for 3 attack instead. That's my guess. But yeah, it's just like really slow. Yeah, that one could have been at least a 5 attack. And the fight would be ended by now. And that attack that the Zelda Black Guardian is doing is the secret spell, Antorbog R attack, which is a spell that you can't do. And there is. So that's the Black Guardian. She's cleaning herself with a lot of energy. $69 years later. Yeah, you know how sometimes the cats, you know, like they... Okay, so hang on. Alright, so segment here. Let me take a look at the time. 1 hour 29 so far. So you see how cats sometimes lick their legs and then they use the wet fur to like clean their ears and stuff like that, you know? That's something very common that cats do all the time. Freya, my cat, sometimes what she does is she licks my hand and then cleans her ear with my hand. So she does that same movement but in my hand. It's so funny. Alright, so Penny. We're gonna see the bathroom. Will be over half an hour for sure. For sure. There's 2 segments for Edward actually. I think it's the first episode that has chapter that has 2 segments. So we're gonna take a look at this bathroom. It's been a long time since I've seen it. There you go. No side effects on Alex. Pretty good.
You are not free to leave.
Probably grind for that until they got no side effects. And yeah, this is probably gonna be the most different chapter, I guess. Well, actually, these last 3 will be very different. Just because of all the 7 spells and all the intricacies. Michael can also be extremely different, and of course Alex. So first of all, savor immediately. That's a time loss. Because you can do this way later while you're waiting for the vampire. But that's fine. Yeah, of course. Actually, just like Givger said, by definition, it's the most different. Because we don't even play it anymore. Exactly. Not going for the saver immediately also saves stamina, and you don't have to sneak or do any setups for stamina if you just go for the books and not the saver on the first segment of Edward. I believe after this cutscene you get full stamina. Almost sure. There's a handful of cutscenes that give you full stamina after them. This one for sure. Either that one or this one right here. Probably the previous one. Okay, revolver? No revolver. Okay, that's fine. Revolver is useful for trappers on Enga. But not that much. I think, if I remember correctly, most of the trappers on... Oh, look at that. 7 reveal. That was me too. I made that same mistake. A 3 reveal is enough to see the vampire. But at least for me, it was counterintuitive. I really just believe, since I was young, that you had to do a 7 reveal to see it. And I believe my first runs have that, probably. Yeah, not the Kansas, of course. But it's fine, because shields. And then you have to watch this cutscene. Which, by the way, can be skipped if you watch another cutscene. But it's alright. And you see, there, that is the very extended, weird Zelda model on the pillar. And then here you have to wait. This is why it's usually better to go for the saber later. But of course, if you don't know another method to kill the vampire, then you will want the saber before. But yeah, here we wait. There's nothing else to do. You gotta wait an entire minute for every face to appear. So on my last part, no pulls, yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, you just don't know. So there's another reveal. Also no enchantment. That actually surprised me. Because the no pulls, yeah, you just don't know. But no enchantment, you have a lot of free time. And you can just, you know, you can do a 7 enchant, which is what we did in the past for Edward. You do a 7 enchant, and that deals double damage. Yeah, of course, but you don't know, again. Like, did you know about that before speedrunning? I didn't know. I learned that watching Suiken's run. But had no idea when I was young. And this is 2005. The first run that got pulls into was 2010, 5 years later. Nice. Oh, I mean, I used them, but never for stamina. Actually, pulls was probably my favorite spell. Like, Mantork pull was by far my favorite spell. But I didn't know that they recover stamina. That's the thing. But yeah, I actually use them all the time because I love that spell. So he was running. they were running all this time, so they don't have a lot of stamina here. Interesting. Yeah, magic management wasn't really a thing here on this run. So that means you don't need any Uyas pulls. And then figuring out the Zelda bull, I think it's not that trivial. I actually had to... I didn't figure that out myself. Sir told me about it. Never used a single pull in my first playthrough, except maybe right after I got it. Okay. I think on my very first playthrough, it probably was the same as you, and I actually didn't understand what the spell did. At first, I was so confused, like, what is this? What is this doing? And then probably on my second playthrough, I figured out what was happening, and there I started using them, I think. And it became my favorite spell. Very suboptimal fight here. Because no reveal visible. Otherwise you can just tank all these hits. And I bet you can also do it, even without reveal. And with the shields, you know. This fight would have been way faster, actually, if Mad Andy decided to go for the double shotgun. Double shotgun from behind, so that's the segment. Interesting addition there. Double shotgun from behind, or not from behind, point blank, kills this one on one shot if it is enchanted. And if it's not enchanted, it's like one shot plus a couple sabers. Yeah, yeah. I remember I was that kind of person. Like every time I got as one rune, I tried every single combination. I was very obsessive about that. So I got everything early. But of course I didn't understand what were the uses for them. But it was very interesting. It was very cool for me to discover those things early. But yeah, I think a lot of people just don't do that. Also, they missed the scroll because that thing is on Kareem. All right, number 1 first. I'm going to assume this actually they're just going for whatever. I don't think there's a road here, but I don't know. Because the only thing that you can technically road on Edward is stamina. And that's it. That's the only thing you road for Enga. And since they're not using pools, any order should be about the same. It's also faster to do number 2 first, because you run less here if you do you solve the puzzle from the other one first. Oh my god, you're right. Oh, that would have been so much painful. Yeah. Crazy. And also, you don't get the shield scroll, you get it on pole. So I'm assuming they didn't have shields too. My god. Imagine that. So yeah, it seems that Andy's just going in order. You know, number 1, number 2, and so on. Because again, without stamina to road, you really don't have anything to road on. I mean, you can road levers, like I said before. That's about it. So here, an attack for trappers. It's fine if you feel very, like, not confident about the trappers. I don't remember exactly. I think my first Edward probably had the revolver equipped always, because there was no punching on doors yet. And I think I just sacrificed attacking on portals or having the revolver always. There was a point where I rotated the revolver to put it into a certain spot, so I would put it on a mandatory pause for assignments, I think, to minimize the amount of portals without revolver. Yeah, they're going on in order. Just going for the easiest road, doing everything in order. You don't have to think of any order in particular. But that's definitely a thing, you know. Even up to today, I still have this shit on top of my TV. Can't really see it from there, but this thing right here, this is a post-it with the Enga wrote. I still do that because I still forget it. You should not be ashamed of using notes. Never. Never ever. Yeah, Enga optimization actually, like on Swigen era, there was definitely some Enga optimization, but it was still not optimized. Like on the Swigen era, I think they only optimize like which spires you will do first. But actually, one of the things I did when I got into the game, one of my first contribution to the game was reroading completely rewriting Edward and Alex before even my first run, because I wanted to minimize the amount of spells, the amount of pulls. And that gave me an edge on Edward and Alex compared to the other runners, just because of that. Because on Edward I wrote it for pulls, and on Alex I wrote it for shields. So use shields for stamina, and then you don't have to do any pull on Alex, which we'll see later. I mean, that'll be on another day, because I don't actually know if any runners use pulls on Alex. I don't exactly remember. I kind of had the feeling that so I can run did pulls on Alex, or maybe Unsquab. I don't really remember. I have to. I will need to see it, but I did optimize that a little bit. So here's another one. Going 5 first. So number 5, 6, and 7. Those 3 collide into this room. And it's always lower if you go for 5 first. You gotta walk a tiny bit more. So it's faster if you go either 6 or 7 before 5. Just because of the position of the lever. We're seeing lots of shields. These shields are to prevent sanity damage. Or rather, Mad Andy has 0 sanity. And that means sanity damage will be health damage. So I'm assuming they're doing it. And they're probably being extra safe too. What's going on here? You're comfortable there? You know, it's a pretty hot day, and you're making my legs sweat. But whatever. The elephant gun animation was funny. Yes. I love that animation. Like, it was so cool to think, you know, like, the gun is so powerful, and of course, Edward, it's probably not, you know, not the strongest person, but it was just so funny to see that, you know. Yeah, I completely agree. Big no-no. My guy does that too. He's so cute, and I can't ever let him move. Yeah. Yeah, it's so hard, because sometimes, I don't know, you know, I want to get something in the kitchen. I need to move. And I can't, because she's so cute, you know, she's like right there. What am I gonna do? Yeah, Madden is being extremely safe. It's crazy. You know, getting some recovery on the sanity even. So I think the trappers... There should be a trapper on number 8. On Spire number 8. There's like 2 more after this. Or 1 more after this. Stargate room. And maybe on number 9. I don't quite remember the trappers on the spires of Edward. There's 2 Mantork zombies on Enga. In the entire Enga, there's only 2 Mantork zombies. And they are on this room, and they die immediately. For the magical attack of the Guardian. Such a sad life for Mantork zombies.
Pandora.
Yeah, they really don't want to get health damage from Vision. There's one more Guardian on number 9 that will do all that damage. Well, that's funny. Wonder why that attack. Really wonder. Oh, there's 2 more. This is just number 8. That means there's two Guardians. I'm sorry. So here there should be a Trapper, I think. If I remember correctly. Yeah, there it is. An attack for just 1 Trapper is definitely not worth. You definitely prefer a revolver shot. Revolver shot is like 0.5 seconds or even less than that, like 0.4. A full attack is 2 seconds of casting. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. At least a counter, maybe. At some point. That was an interesting road to walk there. Oh yeah. They just remember about the Dispel. So Dispel 7 is still not done. We're gonna see that on Alex. They're gonna create Dispel 7 on Alex. This one is also one that it's lower to do number 8. This one before number 9, the last one. It's a tiny extra walk. You know, I actually did a kill them all run at some point, where I kill every single enemy. That's when I discovered, because I kill every single enemy, and I also kill all the servants on like Max, Roberto, and Edward. And that's when I discovered that, like, I didn't pay attention before, but the Edward servants are like super glitchy because they disappear. So there's like no way to kill them, or all of them. I don't know, because they disappear and they appear sometimes. It's super weird. Alright. So leaving 9 for the end is actually fine, because it's one of those that are closer to the exit. Any spire over number 5, it's fine for the end. These little stairs right there are slower than the others. That magical attack is just to be safe for the Trapper. You can run around that. You can go either way, either from the left or from the right. That horror, by the way, is massive. And I think it deals more damage than normal. Yeah. I really wish that, like, I really wanted 9 spells to be more coded in the game. Like, at least we have one, you know, the Dispel. It's kind of cool. But my dream was definitely 9 shields and 9 pull. I think those two would have been amazing. Maybe even 9 attack, because maybe that would have been an insane amount of damage. Who knows? All right. What happened? You hear something? You saw a ghost? Yeah, 9 summon too, of course. But that, I think that's like the least likely. Because I feel like, I mean, that would need it to be cut content, you know? Because it's like a lot. Whereas the others, I feel like you can just, if you just have a formula, you know, like level of the spell times attack, for instance, or times shields, then it's easy to increment, right? But for a summon, you have to fully program another creature. You know, either a bounty for Gatekeeper, Black Guardian. But yeah, that would be amazing, of course. No shotgun! I'm so sad. Pious fight is gonna be so fun. Can't wait for that. Either that or they're gonna get it later. But I have the feeling that this is gonna be a Gladius fight. Just have that feeling. Also, we saw some creation of spells. I think I even remember notes from Mad Andy talking about, and I think Old Scott too, talking about doing assignments or creation spells at the beginning of segments, because if they fail that somehow, they will reset immediately. Yeah, I used to do that magical attack too, because the trapper could be in 2 different positions. One position is very good for a revolver, the other one is very dangerous, and I was never a fan of dealing with that. And of course, enemies in the mansion, that's something very interesting. So what triggers enemies in the mansion on this Alex segment is using the pickaxe. So when you use the pickaxe on the fake wall, you get enemies in the mansion. That's how it works. It's not getting to the cutscene, because when you do Edward skip, you get to the cutscene, but you don't use the pickaxe, and you don't get enemies in the mansion.
Wherever disaster and death lurk.
So those are 2 different flags, actually. And yeah, let's see Michael. Look at that! The guns! Rifle. I don't blame Mad Andy for doing this. You know, actually, getting rifle, I would even recommend it for beginners. Just because that way you don't have to worry at all about trappers. Oh, that's unfortunate. Getting grabbed by the zombie later. Right after that. Okay, probably a slow pickup. No, actually, fast pickup. Interesting. And yeah, if you go all the way, circle around from the right, you're gonna get 1 extra sanity damage here, I think. That plus getting grabbed by a Zelda zombie that deals sanity damage too when they're grabbing you gives a very low sanity here for Mad Andy. So having some trouble with the life puzzle, it seems. Yeah, I mean, for me, at least casually, and not just casually, just in general, the big appeal of this chapter for me is the assault rifle. it is a little bit of a shame that it's a time loss on an actual run. Okay, shields. Skip some trappers. Now big damage here. Shields are gone because it's health damage when you have no sanity. Here, right here, on Swiken Run, you will do a 7 recovery Zelda, and that's the road I used for a while. My first days, my first months even. But yeah, shields do a good job regardless. Hitting every single trapper, and here the shields will help too for summoning a trapper. Almost getting grabbed. That would have been really bad. Now, Mad Andy still has to do a reveal, and this is one of the big differences. No Wealth Pool, which is kind of a pain. And they are going all the way into the second loading zone. You can go just on the first one to avoid that effect. And now bind. Let's time the bind. Alright, so they're getting a lot of magic for the bind, of course. I want to see how lucky Mad Andy was. That is a lot of time. Alright, let's see. No, not yet. It's when it starts. Let's see how good this RNG was. This fight can go from 4 seconds, about 4 seconds, to a minute. More than a minute even. Okay, 25 seconds, that's kinda average. I don't think Mad Andy grinded too many Michaels. So there's the recovery. And yeah, not using an oil pool here means you have to do something about this electricity. What they're gonna do? Let's see. Run around. For a while, I'm guessing. Yeah, 7 enchant for the bomb, of course. And now they need some magic for shield. Yeah, and I don't know, maybe Mad Andy thought that you will recover magic faster if you run instead of just walk, because there's no really a reason to run here. He might even run, they might run into low stamina, even with Michael. No, I guess not. Okay, only 5 shield. That still gives you some shields to go back. There's like 2 shields left, I think. Or maybe just 1 because of the sanity damage there. We'll see. Are they gonna get another? Yeah, they're gonna get another one. Okay. Yeah, just enough for another 5 shield. And yeah, they're probably gonna be alright because the health must be quite high. So this should just be enough. Although I'm worried about the horrors. No, actually this is not that big. The horror might be low health, to be honest. So I don't know what they're gonna do. Maybe just a Zelda recovery. We'll see. The current strategy is to get a pool. Oh, yeah. So shields will save. Because otherwise the horror damage, you're gonna be on low health. And that's a big time loss. Yo, Evilon, how you doing? Num Num, you were eating. Yeah, I'm missing the... I don't know if I lost runs, but I definitely lost, like, time forgetting the thing. And with the 7 recovery road back in the day, you have to use that thing. Okay, so hang on. Okay, so something interesting here. This is the last time you could see the sequel sanity effect. Now, one way, 2 hours 5, by the way. One way to skip that, and this was known, I should write this, is to pause. You know, you can pause immediately, and the thing won't trigger until you unpause. But what you can do is you can save the game and load, and that will also prevent it. So by doing all the segments at the start of Alex, they are preventing the sequel effect. I'm gonna write that down. Sequel skip using save files. You had pizza? Nice. I want pizza so much. I haven't eaten pizza in a while. That should be illegal. So I think I'm gonna get pizza some of these days. Okay, light puzzle. There you go. Now we need to get the last artifact. At some point I think that there was a road with 7 recovery for Alex here too. 7 sanity recovery, which is full sanity recover. And then I don't remember if it was me or Swiken. Don't really remember. That changed into casting 2 Celta pools instead. That's also full sanity, and 3 spells is faster than 1/7. Or it's actually not faster, is it? Yeah, it's faster. 1 second faster. And of course, you don't have to assign the 7 extra spell. I think that's the most important part. Just having less spells for assignment. It's always better. But it seems that Mad Andy is going 0 sanity. Interesting. Because, you know, unlike Edward, you will see sanity effects here. On this room, only this room. And guys, the only room that gives you sanity effects. Okay, so that's a chill and a dispel. They just created this spell. Look at that! Where is it gonna cast this spell? Close? Interesting. Wait, what? Seriously? Oh, that's so interesting. Alright. This is very odd. Like, it makes me think, is that faster? Or they didn't know that you could cast it? I don't know. It might just be faster. Or... I'm not really sure. Yeah, all strats. Like, what I did on my first run was doing the shield before to use it for stamina. So I already had, on my old road, I already have 7 shields when you enter Enga, so you will only cast the Dispel. Oh, mosquitoes. Why? Go away. Okay, so same thing here. It seems that Madame is just going in order. Because number 1 first, number 1 is slower first. To go for this before number 2. Or, no, never mind, no. Forget about that. There's no lever here. You can do either number 1 or number 2. Now, let's see if Mad Andy connects this into number 6. That's the important part. Because otherwise, we're gonna see an extra cutscene. Also, let's pay attention to this road to see if they're optimizing shields or not. Nope. Okay, we're gonna see an extra cutscene later. And there's no shields optimizations. So what you want to do for shield optimization on Enga is you want to put together a spire that is very close and one that is very far. So the close spires give you, on average, 5 chokes. So that's 5 shields gone. And then the ones that are farther away give you, on average, 9. Sometimes more, sometimes less. But on average 9. So if you add those two, 5, not 4. 5 and 9 gives you 14, and 14 is the amount of shields you get with a 7 shield. So you're always going to do a short path with a long path. These are 2 short paths. So Mad Andy will have extra shields after this. So that's some extra shields, but it's not quite that many shields. It's still gonna be alright for number 3. But I feel like if they keep going like this, they're gonna run in some part, they're gonna run into suboptimal shields. And the other thing you want to do on this old road, you know, before Freecast, which is what I did when I optimized this chapter, is using shields for stamina. So basically every time you might run out of stamina, you will cast a shield. And here comes the summons. Look at that, summoning very far away. You can summon a little bit closer. There's also an strat that's very specific to summon very close. But if you don't quite know a good position, the Trapper might summon very far away. Yeah, this is kind of a far zombie, I would say. Such a far zombie. That sucks. There's no strat for the zombie to do it way faster, but it's... Oh, look at that! They cancel the walking animation at least. That is something. Let's see what they do on the horror. And they're gonna do it out of... Yeah, okay, so this I think that was by accident. That's my guess. So the thing is, if Alex is on top of this portal teleporter thing, when the creature walks in, then the creature won't walk in and will teleport immediately. Kind of similar to the portal cancel. But I think they got it just by accident on the zombie because they didn't go for it. So here, for example, you see my Andy wanting to do a shield, but you have enough shields here. That tells you that there's no road for shields whatsoever. Also for the summons, when you used to do the summons, we always do a Uyao pool to get the extra magic, because you know you're doing the 3 summons. Summons are very expensive, on the most expensive spells, so it's definitely better to, you know, have a lot of magic, even on Alex. Sneaking, full sneak here. And then shields here. So these shields will be alright, because it's number 4 with most likely number 5 next. Let's see. Yeah, so number 4 with number 5 match together fine, because it's 5 shields and then 9. Also, I think we're having slow runes here. Oh, well, it's just tutorial. We're gonna see on the next, on number 8, I guess. Probably an attack here? Yeah. I also did attacks for a while on Enga. You don't actually need that. There's still a mosquito free in my room. I tried to kill it a couple times. So another optimization I did for Alex at some point, before doing target running, was putting all the sections with trappers together. So I would put revolver for those parts, I think. Yeah, so that way I will use revolver just on a little section. And then you can... And that's because I want to have the Gladius for portal cancels. And you see here an extra reveal. What you can do is you can link the previous reveal with this one, and then the trappers won't be invisible. And then this shield, is better to do it here. You actually... So that was number 6. Okay, it's better to do it at the beginning of this room. That way you will gain more stamina. If you are going 0 pools on Alex. So yeah, these shields will be awful for number 7. So we're probably gonna see Marandi doing another 5 shield. You knew the trappers only needed 3 reveal, but not the vampire. Yeah, actually. Interesting. So we'll see a 7 attack here. Yeah. It's always hard to get into the logic of a player, because there's stuff that might seem obvious for one, but it's just not very obvious for others. Again, I think one of the things that surprised me the most is the spelling cutscene on our attack barrier. I would really love to know if they did it on purpose or not. Well, there's actually notes. Maybe I can take a look at those notes later. There's notes for these very extensive notes even. And not a single sanity effect yet. This is crazy. So lucky. This is Enga full low sanity. Yeah, so no fast, I don't know how to call this, fast selection on the runes. You can select a rune as soon as you turn around. You can just press the button immediately and we'll select it. You don't have to wait for the entire thing. And I really think Matt Andy didn't know that you can walk the other way here, because they did the same on Edward. Because they're going all the way around. So shields here. And since the last one is gonna be number 9, they're gonna need another shield. And let's see how this bind goes. I'm gonna close my window. Alright, so number 9, all the rooms done. We're almost there. Getting close. I want to time. I have a timer here because I want to time the bind. I'm just curious about it. Waiting until it completely dies. Look at that. You can cast it as soon as it dies. But at least they're getting extremely close to the cores, which saves time. So that's 31. That's fine. It's not the best, but it's fine. It's I would say it's below average. Fine. Like it's slightly below average. Okay, just running with low chills. Nice. They wanted to go up, but then they regretted. So polite, yes. Okay. They could have actually went for it, I think. You definitely have enough time for a 7 shield, I feel, here. And that's the thing, there is sanity effects here on Alex. If you're low sanity. You can actually finish spells in sanity effects. And some of them will remain, like shields for instance. Shields will remain. So Matt either didn't know about it or just got desperate, you know? because Alex was going down, and so the spell was kind of invisible. So maybe they just reacted, you know, like, what's going on? They move. Interesting addition there. They just move out of panic or something. Okay, Celta recovery before Pious. So that's kind of alright. Pious does a lot of sanity damage, it's kind of crazy. And not just Pious, but actually Pious doesn't do that much. It's the artifact that does the damage when you, on the first hits of the artifact. It's a lot. And that will be health damage without sanity. And Mad Andy doesn't actually have a lot of health here. I think they have like half. So yeah, another one even, yeah. Getting all the sanity maybe. Okay, enchant. How much? 7, look at that. Alright, so they got pretty lucky with the Dispel. Dispel immediately. Because otherwise the Dispel would have Dispelled the enchantment. You don't actually need 7 enchant, 3 is enough for this part. But if they get a good fight, this 7 enchant will still be useful for the end, so it's alright. But we need to see how good the fight is. We see a lot of recoveries. And that's the first phase. That's another little part where sneaking helps a lot with the turnaround. Okay. So baiting attacks. That's good. Almost got hit there. Interesting. Now for Kareem. Let's see what attack they do with the Ram now. Neutral. That's good. It's faster to do right attack, I think. But at least they didn't do overhead. That's phase 2. Now Max, of course, waiting for a good position for Pious, because it's very easy to get caught by Pious with Max and Roberto. And yeah, all these sanity recoveries are preventing health damage from time to time. From Pious sometimes randomly does damage. I feel like attacks from Paul tend to fail a lot on the artifact. For some reason, even sometimes when you are extremely close to it, they just randomly fail. It's really ridiculous. Okay, that was a decent fight. Not a single fast artifact, but apart from that, it was totally fine. You know, they didn't got any hits on the Phantoms. And yeah, so here's the thing. With a 7 enchant for the end, you see, they still have the enchant. Because enchant timer doesn't go down while you are on a ghost. But I guess it went down. I don't think they needed that. Or maybe, I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, no shotgun. And all the attacks point blank, so this is gonna take a while. So every time you damage Pious too close, he will teleport. So you see there, for instance, there was one hit that wasn't close enough, and it didn't teleport. And you can put yourself in a position, even with Gladius, where it doesn't trigger teleports. So it's close, baiting an attack. And yeah, you can do about 2 or 3 attacks before it teleports. From the back, you can do 3. From the front, I believe you can do only 2. Have the enchanted Gladius, yeah. And time. I don't have a timer really, because timer on this thing is really weird. I don't really know. I don't even know how SDA timing works, because I don't know if they get rid of the loads. And yeah, those are my YouTube recommendations. So great. Let me get rid of this prompt thing. So timeline. Actually, I guess I can show it. So GG's clap, no ending, sadly. But hey. So here. So this is SDA timing, adjusted SDA timing. So SDA timing was different than this. Was actually like, it was lower than this. Yeah, Mad Andy, that's the runner. Mad Andy, 2005. That's 8th of March. Because these dates are on my format, by the way. So day goes first, and then month. So that was the first segment to run. Adjusted SDA timing. SDA timing was like 20 seconds less than this. I don't know why. So I remember adjusting this at some point. Just a little bit. Like for some reason that I still don't understand, they discounted about 20 seconds right out of the bat from the last segment. Spiral Out actually talk about that, and they used their own timing for their run because they were so confused. So yeah, it's about 2 hours 29 and a half, more or less, about there. Let's say about 2.5 hours, the very first run of Eternal. And let's see, I see if I can get some notes. There were some notes. So actually, just to be sure about some parts, maybe. Okay, so this is where the run is documented. Big Boss channel. This is not Mad Andy, by the way. This is a channel that has put multiple runs of other people. I did not do this speed run. Got it from Speed Demos, you see. 2007, like 2 years after the run, they uploaded this thing. This is another person. And this is the only reason why we have evidence of this, by the way, today, because SDA does that funny thing that they just get rid of the previous runs. They just get the last one. Either that or it's very hard to access the old one, because I've never been able to do it. So these are a lot of, I don't think I'm reading all of this right now, but I'm interested on the chapter notes. Like, use a horror to fight a vampire. Yeah. Oh, where do you saw that? On the timeline? Here? Vampire using horror? Yeah. That's Sir came out with that strat. It's a very awesome strat. I love it. It's really, really good. And it's really, really cool. Like, I was a little bit disappointed when we ditched that strat. Yeah, kinda. Okay, so nothing that important on bias. Ran to a few traps, nothing major. Only 2 mistakes. Drop corridor after fighting the monk. Okay. Suffer an insanity effect, which could skip it. Yeah. They were too slow on the walking on ceiling. So let's see. I'm interested in Lindsay. This chapter caused me nightmares. Basically cannot describe how stupidly hard this chapter was before I started making complex strategies. It was soon that I gave up and decided to use the shield and recover sanity spells early to give me a chance to finish this chapter quickly. And in the end, it ended up being faster. LOL. Thanks to the recover sanity spell, there was only 1 sanity effect, which cost me about 10 seconds. Yeah, that's the ammo in the floor. But as well as that 1 point near the end, my life dropped really low, so I had to use only recover life spell in the game. The only recover life spell. Okay. That's kind of rough. I believe that I used the magical attack in this chapter. I could have been even faster. Yeah. I skipped the Pandora room. Okay, so this makes me think that this really makes me think that the spelling cutscene on the air attack barrier was it was an accident. Like, I don't know. I'm still gonna put it on the timeline, but kind of makes me think about that. Then Forbidden City. Give me a second. I'm gonna put some music in the background, I think. While I'll talk about this. There's one song. Where do I have this song? Whatever, let's just put the menu for now. That's an easy bet, always. No, stop! Why are you going so fast? What? Oh my god, why is this going so fast? Something's going on with my emulator. What? Okay, never mind. That was so fast. Alright, hang on. Sacrament. Eternal darkness. Yeah, I was thinking the same, but it seems fine. Seems alright. Is that too loud? It's a little bit loud. It gets louder later. Still probably too loud. Okay, maybe there. Where it was. Okay, so Forbidden City. Ran into a few walls, spent quite a lot trying to use magical attack to kill Trapper. I could have just picked the crossbow. Well, actually the crossbow is slower, so that was fine. I went slowly in menus and so on. Maybe it's because the next chapter was my favorite and I wanted to play it badly. Okay. That also makes me think that the magic refiller wasn't like an accident. And that would totally make sense. I had magic refillers at accidents for a long time. So then what else? Canceling the zombie in Alex. Sequel skip. That might be on the beginning. Let's see, Alex. This chapter went overall pretty well. In the first 18 minutes long segment, I didn't make many mistakes. Chaturga's zombie seems to have been summoned a little bit too far. The yellow magic teleportation circle. And the other mistake was at the very end, going back to the teleport area, I had to use 2 7-point bind attack spells instead of 1. Okay, so at least they knew about killing the horrors with only 1 bind. Now, that's RNG, so that's not your fault, okay? I guess maybe your fault is not to grind enough to get it on out segmented, but that's fine. So that also makes me think that canceling the zombie animation into the border was also an accident. Instead of 7-point, I could have used it 3-point. Yeah, you could, but you also could just leave the 7-point for the end from the beginning. That's fine, but it's fine. Alright. Yeah, I'm actually very glad that this person, whoever they are, uploaded this with all the notes. So these are the SDA notes, because that was kind of a tradition back in the day on SDA. People would upload their run, and because there was no Discord, you know, no too much Twitch back then, to no Google Docs, you know, no pasta beans. So what people did back in the day was uploading the run and then uploading this, which is like a big chunk of notes to the SDA page. And it's pretty cool because, you know, we can go into all the details. And if you see Ulscope notes, those are crazy. He got like, I don't know, like 2 pages per chapter, or like 1 page per chapter. There were so many of them. And yeah, even just explaining some basic stuff. The enemies are different, some graphical changes. But yeah, it's just pretty cool. That's it. Anything else I have to say about this? I don't think so. I think I got everything. I mean, again, these notes, you can go over these notes. I might take a look at them more slowly, with more time offline. And yeah, so that is the very first speedrun of this game. Mad Andy, 2005, 2 hours and a half segmented. Pretty cool. I would love to see them around in the community again. Why not? I have no idea how to contact them, but whatever. And yeah, I hope you like this. It was kind of a different stream, just talking about history, I guess, in a sense. And yeah, that's cool. It's been like 15 years actually. It's so crazy. That's the first video, by the way, if you want to take a look at the notes. This was really interesting. Okay, hang on. I'm gonna put the demo music. I'm down. Okay. This is really interesting. It makes me think about how little we know about speedrun history. Yeah, actually, like, I got kind of inspired by by other people for this, and why, like I you know, the what is it called, summoning salt videos of history of any percent of a game or something like that. And since then I've been documenting all the games I speedrun, just to, you know, to have those. You know, it's kind of fun to have the history and to know the different contributions that different people do, because it gets forgotten pretty quickly. And I don't know, I just like it. I like to document stuff, I gotta be honest. And yeah. So getting into this, so this was a very long run, and it's pretty old and all that. I wanted to do it here because it's just more fun to show it to everyone, and I can give inside commentary on top of it. And people mob speedrunning pretty abruptly sometimes. Yeah, they leave. Yeah, that actually happens all the time. It's kind of crazy. I would say most speedrunners stay just a tiny bit on their game. I think it's just a few amount of speedrunners that stick to games for a while. And 64 version would have been insane if released. Yeah. Well, to be fair, they actually have the same amount of chapters, and they were ready. I mean, that's what Dennis said, that they have every single chapter with the old ones. So they had this one, for instance, Joseph instead of Kareem, and Michael was a soldier instead of a firefighter. They had to remake everything, and by looking at some of the E3 presentations, it seems that the game was super smooth. Like for the N64, it was like very good. And Dennis was always talking about that, at how good the frame rate was and all that. But yeah, I still think a GameCube version aged well, aged better. But I would love to just see, you know, the N64 version. Like, I really want Nintendo to release it, if it still exists, because they have it. It's on their power, and I would love to see that. And also the early GameCube version with Joseph and Michael. Yeah, they compressed the hell out of it. Absolutely. But Dennis was like very proud about it, and the whole team, because they were able to do it without expansion pack even, which is like pretty crazy. But yeah, I mean, if you have less graphics and all that, you can do it. There is long games on the N64. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. I'm dying of hunger. I need to eat. So I'll be leaving. And sorry for the little what's it called? The little disconnect in like, it wasn't like Kareem. That's not on my side, I can tell you. It was either Twitch or OBS, because internet looks pretty fine. But whatever, it's alright. I'm gonna upload an edited version full length to my YouTube, so that's gonna be edited. I will Evelon for sure. Thank you for watching. Bye bye everyone.